Jinx, now the queen of AD carries, left open with the other two banned. I think it's a very obvious choice for Weibo.
Okay, well, Huanfeng, third game in a row. I love it. Again, didn't play it before today, but decided that he's going to bring it back and show us what 2021 looked a little bit like. But for FPX Lyric, let's note one thing. Hung has been given Thresh 2 games in a row. And Weibo Gaming are like, we don't need to ban it away. Forget it.
Yeah, so Thresh still open. You always can go like a Thresh Jhin. Senna also still there if they want to just keep going towards the Tahm Kench. Actually, I'm sorry, it'd be FPX navigating the Tahm Kench this time around, so it would be a new look for Hung. But I think those are the two options that stand out to me. Either just going the Jhin, which is what we're seeing a lot before Chinese New Year, or if you want to adapt, this new Senna style and trying to play around this. It doesn't really fit FPX's core identity. We have seen other teams in other regions identifying this as a strong pick.
Cool, but maybe the Gwen this time. And xiaolaohu, we just saw a sound on tape of him talking about the strength of this champion. It's so funny that it wasn't even looked at in previous games, but now early priority, they're like, nope, Hung's not getting Thresh. We're not getting anything secure elsewhere. Like the Jhin you mentioned, it's that top lane early pick that they want to play against TheShy.
Yeah, I think it made sense in context of the draft why, like in game 1, TheShy didn't go for it, for example. And FPX have consistently just been putting more prio on this Jace, which Gori did. xiaolaohu did say in that interview he does think is the one decent matchup. So I think it makes a bit of sense, but point is, right, I think it is the strongest top lane blind on the patch. It technically is a flex pick, though for FPX, it's not right now since the Lee Sin's already locked in. And for Weibo, they're going to try and go back to some of that skirmishing that made them strong in game 1. Look for more team fighting coming in through those resets and those ultimate opportunities coming for SofM. And now I wonder for themselves, wanting to find that top lane counter pick early is what it looks like, and they do, bringing out the Kennen. So trying to have some agency in this laning phase, and Weibo going back to what won in game 1, right? Having the stronger 5v5.
Lyric, I feel like laughing because the last time I saw TheShy on Kennen, there's been many times.
Rapid fire cannon?
Rapid fire cannon Kennen. Now that's probably not going to happen, but it's etched in my mind.
I think it's etched in everyone's mind.
Yeah.
I remember, I think that was the time where we had Dom on doing like analyst desk and stuff like that. And I just remember seeing his reaction of him tilting so hard. It was phenomenal. It's now Gori locking in the Kaisa for Lwx. So gonna get a bit of a throwback, right? This was one of the Lwx champions coming online in a meta where Lwx won Worlds 2019. So we're now gonna see him pilot it once again. For FPX as a whole, you can see they're sticking with a consistent theme of bot lanes that are able to bring out the aggression. Also giving him some repositioning tools later on in team fights to try to navigate around the Kennen and the Viego.
Which is why it makes me question, what are we going to get partnered with it once again? Because FPX are the ones banning out supports, but Weibo Gaming targeting the last solo lane that's left available. That's Gori. Loses to LeBlanc. Lyric, Orianna, from what we've seen in this little mini meta in the series. You feel like that's going to be the final ban from Weibo?
Potentially, right there. I guess there is some ball set up there. But still, things like Viktor are on the table as well. So I think for now, FPX actually have a decent amount of options in terms of the mid lane champion pool that they are able to bring out. FPX being the ones to take away the Thresh themselves. We do have a Kaisa down in that bottom side. So maybe things like the Nautilus and Leona are what come to mind for Hung in this matchup.
Okay, I like the Leona. Hung not going to be on his Thresh for the first time in this series, but showing us another champion feels like something that we can kind of highlight as well. Rise the final takeaway. So getting rid of some of the map movement from this mid laner. And Lyric, support here, you just mentioned Leona, anything else solid.
Nautilus still being open. The Rakan's also open for the opposite side. Again, it's been On's go-to pick so far. Has 5 games on the champion, 100% win rate, and it does seem like FPX is just going to gravitate more towards the stock and standard picks that we have seen out from them so far. The Orianna, something you highlighted, is going to be what they go to in the end. Again, they do have some ball delivery coming in. They have the Lee Sin. Kaisa, not really ball delivery, right? But she theoretically jumps in, played as well. So now looking over to the side of Weibo, we've kind of already hit on some of the support options left open. Their composition very much wants to go in. Rakan left open. I expect On to lock that one in. Then they're going to be looking at a mid lane matchup for Angel to come in strong. I wonder if he will just look to go for something with more volatility. You've already hit on how he has been along the lines of an Akali player and things like this, where you will lose out in the early laning phase, but if their goal is to just be able to get on backlines and cause chaos in these team fights, I think something like that would fit their composition quite well. Viktor would be more in line of like, hey, we're going to allow our 3 psychopaths to go in. I'm going to stand next to Huanfeng. I'm going to dish out damage to your front line.
Yeah, psychopath. Fair enough.
And SofM on in the TheShy, I feel like a pretty good term to describe them.
Yeah, it's a brutal, but actually the perfect term. You're right. So we get Viktor, and the rest of the psychopaths get to choose their maker. For FPX, we already talked about it. Support last pick here. You mentioned Hung on the Nautilus or the Leona, something that pairs up nicely with the Kaisa. And what does this comp look like for you? Because if we have ball delivery, if we have repositioning, is it like a front to back? Is it a simple team fighting comp that wants to keep track of where Weibo Gaming's flanking angles are?
I think it's very interesting, right? Because both comps having engage on them, both comps having things that want to get on the backline. FPX's case, even your AD carry having that ability to jump in. But I definitely think, you know, the further we get into the game, the more Weibo will dictate the pace. They're going to have to be looking out from so many different angles, whether On's able to find a flank or even just engage at you front to back. The TheShy coming off on certain angles and getting on your back line. So for FPX, I think it will be a bit harder to navigate. I'm going to be looking at them, especially in the early game, and what they can do with the Lee Sin setting up the Kaisa Nautilus down in that bottom. Team's looking for blood, Hysterics.
Wow! I love it. Nice little hype intro and a topside invade. On is about to get a very special birthday present, and I don't even know if it's his birthday. Hello! Flash forward from Hung. Of course he does. On flashes as well, and Hung is just that kind of support.
Still, fast fingers on, instantly scaling up the W when he sees the Nautilus, dashing out of there, has the flash to get away from the hook once it comes out from Hung, since he was banking on getting that auto zoned off from his flash to root on and find the kill, but sadly not able to do so. Now, though, to calm down. This series has been really crazy, really hype. It's delivered. This is the pre-match match of the week. We have match of the week next, but this feels like a match of the week.
True, dude. It's the match before the match of the week, so it's like the pre-match of the week. RNG Top Esports next, and the funny thing is, with Top Esports recency, I don't know if Top Esports are going to be able to deliver. And remember, new roster coming up too. Got Tien back, Wayward in the top lane, Mark has joined
on the roster, but
ProView.
You know, yeah, we'll hit that later. It's like I said, you see him walk up, hadn't started a skill, saves it, instantly sees him, gets that away, so then he has to flash for the hook. On with the fast fingers there, making sure he's able to get away.
Well, good way to start game number 3 of this crazy series. You already mentioned how crazy it was. Let's come back to comps quickly as we start into this game, because all runes are pretty similar. Junglers starting on opposite sides of the map, and I think wards are going to actually spot out both of them towards the end of their clear. What are you focusing on in this early laning phase, and what is the key indicators for both these teams?
I'm definitely going to be focused on bot lane. Okay. Mid lane matchup, I mean, Gori Orianna, it's something we've seen a million times before. There's a bit of trading coming down in the spot lane matchup as we talk about it.
Yep.
But yeah, Viktor has pressure early on, right? Viktor is one of the strongest level 1 champions in the game in terms of mid laners, so you can see him pushing in now. Top side will be a bit of heavy trading back and forth. I think the TheShy will do quite well, as we see here with the range advantage. So all of your volatility, all of your setup definitely comes in this support matchup, right? Hung looking for the engage, On having the ability to set up.
He's got it. Nice little dredge line in again, On at half HP. Gleaming Quill will give him a bit of sustain, but has to hit it first. So bot Lyric, I like that you highlighted that. A nice little start to this game, and TheShy even trading in the top side, as you mentioned earlier before. Junglers on opposite sides of the rift, and xiaolaohu going deep. He has no mana, so if he goes any further forward, he might be chunked out more, and he's going to have to TP.
So what xiaolaohu was doing there, right? You're consciously trading your HP bar to be able to push in the wave. Okay. So he was trying to get that one in, knew he was going to take a bit of damage, was hoping he'd be able to back off, which he was able to do. Sadly, not able to get that wave completely in, but is able to come off with the reset.
See if TheShy is able to get a freeze up there. Angel, nice little gravity field through the mid lane. And bot's still heavily pushed up. Look at this. I mean, Hung and Lwx stuck at their turret. This is a really good sight when Lwx and Hung have been pretty aggro within their 2v2 laning phase the whole series long.
And it's just nice to see in terms of playing the matchup, right? Because you have the Jinx in there, able to easily swap to those rockets, find some aggressive trades with the range that you have, as well as just pushing the wave on as well. I mean, if you do get hooked by the Nautilus, always having that E to be able to get away, you can just consistently play forward and poke down with your Q. So utilizing the innate advantages that the champions do bring to the table. It is left Klid playing up more towards this top side. I don't think TheShy gonna give over an opportunity. I might speak too soon though, because it is TheShy.
Yeah, true.
He does give over quite a few opportunities.
Well, Klid's already backed away.
The best employer in the business.
Yeah, dude, he's sometimes a little bit too sus, you know? TheShy is a maker of art. I want to point out, Klid dropped the ward before backing off there. They know SofM's towards the top side, so xiaolaohu is keeping his wits about him here for now. And throughout mid, we're just going to keep talking about the trading here because Angel is styling on Gori as the Viktor right now. Klid quickly behind him, but Angel is not going to do anything except just watch as mid-wave gets cleared out. So, Lwx, Dragon in 15 seconds. Am I waiting for level 6 once again? It feels like you're going to tell me yes.
I think Weibo potentially have opportunities where they can set up for it, right? Because Weibo have had the winning bot and mid matchup. So if they want to try and set up a gank down towards bot side, which is where SofM is heading right now, try and tangent that into a dragon, or even just hovering over once the wave gets pushed out and pivoting, you'll definitely have the lane setups to do so. Even right now, TheShy is not reset yet. He still has his TP available. Even if he's not utilizing that for a dragon play, once you recall TheShy, right? FPX's whole map has to be a lot more conscious of where it could be. It's not an unleashed teleport yet, but still can close enough distance just by TPing to a turret.
Right, as we've seen a lot of defensive teleports that have changed and made those counterplays in the LPL so far. SofM spotted out once again. On is through river, but look at where Klid is. Yeah, good point, Lwx, because Klid
on the same wavelength, Hysterics.
We finish.
You're one human being.
We finish each other's. Yeah, we do. That's what I was going to say. We finish each other's break. Hung, how'd he get that hook? Sonic Wave connects on in, but on to on. Will it be on? Yes, it will. To the safeguard, once again to the wall. Let on go and crawl. That's a beautiful first blood from Hung. Once again, the dredge line lines up SofM. Another Sonic Wave and Klid in the nick of time to set up FPX for success.
You said it. How does this man keep hitting them? On, sadly, has been the target today of Hung's wrath. We were talking about how Weibo being the team with the winning bot, right? Heck, they were pushing in the wave, wanting to play around this, try and pivot this maybe into some control on Dragon. But Klid with a really nice read, hovering down towards spot side, and Hung setting everything up, means now he will be able to get himself a Scuttle Crab. And FPX now controlling vision in river. So Weibo do have one control ward in that Dragon pit.
I want to see if Hung actually goes for another one, because SofM's hung around with a W in once again, but Klid still nearby. Hung getting low, baited out, low health bar. Onto Huanfeng, who now goes to half HP. He's run out of mana, but I can say the same about Lwx and Hung. They're backing away. SofM sticks around and finally gets a bit of retribution. And I was just about to talk up. Hung needs to back away. I was about to talk up Klid here, Lwx, because he's been so great in these past 2 games, being exactly where he needs to be. And I know that's a bit of a cop-out, but he's been very reactive to SofM, I should say.
I mean, he's done a good job of reading where he should be on the map, right? We're going to get a bit of a pro view coming in from Hung here. And I mean, he sees the opportunity. They walk a bit too far forward to the left of their minions, finds the hook, kites it out, got the ignite down before everything went off. And Hung picking himself up a nice KDA off that play.
Able to go back and get the Mercury Treads first up with the first blood. So a good start here from FPX. No real gold lead. And I think I know why. I was, hang on, they got first blood. They got a bit of priority in the bottom lane. But look at the gold that's being created off the CS differences. Top side, there's about 15 CS in the lead for TheShy. And Angel has a wave that he'll be able to catch in a moment. It's looking pretty good for the solo lane.
Yeah, I mean, even bot lane, right? Sure, you're not a full wave ahead, but still about half a way ahead on the side of Huanfeng as well. So they've been able to keep it up consistently in these lanes. TheShy slowly whittling down at this top side turret. No Dragon was able to be contested in the previous play. Now with Herald up, we know where we're going to see focus come down. Weibo trying to use the pressure that TheShy is putting up at topside to contest this one. He does have the Slicing Maelstrom available, so Weibo Gaming feel incredibly strong in team fights. And if you look at the minimap on, kind of waiting in the wings, wanting to hover up and match if FPX's bot lane starts to move.
Kind of fainting as well. FPX thinking that the support's nearby. Angel has to flash away from the Sonic Wave. Klid ready to go in with a kick flash available. As now Weibo Gaming want a 50-50 to Herald. Klid ready again, even at half HP. He just takes it, walks right in, and that's as easy as that for the FPX jungler. As now onto the support. Weibo Gaming shouldn't have lost that Lwx. He didn't do anything. He just walked up.
No, he just walked up. And, I mean, Angel even committing his Chaos Storm as well to try to zone them off to keep them away, to get some damage down. But yeah, Klid coming in and living up to what you're just talking about, being this massive force on the Rift so far. It's going to be pretty nice when your laners are having such a hard time struggling in some of these laning phases. Especially with the fact that, hey, like, sure, FPX did commit to moving their bot lane up towards top side, but you can see now on the minimap, Lwx actually isn't really going to lose anything, is going to be able to pick up this wave. And now both teams going to start to transition down towards the spot side for the Dragon.
Well, you got a Herald available, so Clint has a lot more freedom to play with now as well. Gori going to get the push through mid, and that Dragon, I like that you mentioned it now, because priority in a lot of lanes.
I want to ask you, if you're Lee Sin and you have Herald, do you have a lot more freedom to play with?
You do. Why wouldn't you?
So,
you can play through lane.
I mean, I guess if you have control wards like he does, you do. But if you don't, you don't have the ward hop.
That's true.
But you're right, Hysterics. I am honestly being a little bit of a... You know, it's a word I don't feel comfortable saying on broadcast. But you're right.
You should say it anyway.
He has Rift Herald. And look at... No. Look at the vision control that FPX have as well, right? Top side completely littered with vision. Even bot side having that one.
Hang on. Ulti time. It's xiaolaohu who has yet another piece of needlework. TheShy in the 1v1. Now, it's starting to go Gwen's way, because remember, Gwen is immune.
Yeah, Gwen, you know, using that W, TheShy not being in there, not being able to deal any damage. So you'd expect the way the matchup to start going, right? xiaolaohu wanting to look for these all-ins, TheShy definitely needing to whittle him down first, keeping an arm's length with the stun, and then saving his abilities for these team fights. With the fact that they were able to blow Slicing Maelstrom for the needlework, that is definitely in FPX's favor. It's why their bot lane feels so comfortable playing for this Dragon.
Huanfeng wants to ulti, he wants to steal it away. On top of Clint, they dodge their Noahs. FPX with the first Dragon of the game. They got a Herald too. Again, another controlled early game from FPX. It feels like they've really warmed up to this series and kind of have Weibo Gaming's number.
It definitely feels like they have a very solid idea of how to play the game, right? Barring the one game where we saw last, them picking things like the Lucian up in top side. Actually, that was Weibo, I'm sorry. Them coming in game one and not having that set kite potential definitely set them back. But for FPX, they're playing around bot. Hung's playing aggressive. xiaolaohu, who has just been such a force in being able to play by himself with no resources that it just makes the FPX formula work so well together.
And we've harped on it, why FPX have been so successful starting this split off. I want to point out that Lwx and Hung now having a great laning phase after the gank we saw in the bottom lane from Cleared, after we saw that 3v3 go so well. Huanfeng and On just going to be pushing out the wave to try and match, but they're still now behind by about 5 CSs. And SofM going to meet Cleared in the bottom side river. Gori there with a low mana bar. And that's just going to be scuttled, yoinked away from under his nose. So more gold going back to Weibo Gaming's side. But it is just interesting to me, Lyric, that coming into this third game, we're a little bit more slow paced. 12 minutes in, 1 kill, only 1 dragon. Like, that's slow pace for this series.
It has actually been... I mean, heck, I remember we had 28 kills in 26 minutes. I believe it was in game 1, so more than 1 kill a minute. Definitely a bit of a change in direction. FPX now going to drop this Herald towards mid. Just get a bit of plate gold onto Gori. And again, when there's just so much wave clear coming on both sides, right? Always really nice to be able to raise the mid turret pretty early on, but now Clid just going to set up for the possibility of a play. They don't end up going for it.
That ward was spotted out. On's coming over just in case. I believe it's spotted by the Wing of Angels. So now the chase begins. SofM wants this manaless Orianna, who won't have enough of the shockwave. Burns a bit of a biscuit or a corrupting potion, excuse me, in case. Weibo Gaming continue to be aggressive. Lyric, while we're lolling about, you know, just playing Monopoly here, I want to ask you a little bit more about, you know, what we're going to see here in this game around the next couple of objectives, like Chaos Storm, Shockwave, more definition in the tools that make or break World's theme, the team fights coming up.
For the side of Weibo, I think there's still definitely like very clear ways to play the fight. Your bot lane has been the one that's been keeping up push, so theoretically you're wanting to enter through your bottom side. Try and get in a place first where you can poke them down with Jinx, poke them down with Viktor, try and buy enough time to bring the Shine on into the fight. I think for FPX, it is a bit more confusing, as On is a nice dodge, right? Because for FPX's comp, it definitely looks like it kind of needs picks before you enter the fight, coming in from sides, following up on hooks, then going with numbers advantage. Because sure, you have a pretty strong 5v5 with Orianna and Gwen, but my big question mark is how does Kaisa function into this fight? Kaisa doesn't want to jump into Kennen, don't want to jump into Viktor. It will be pretty rough.
That's true. You know, those ultimates...
And he first spot Collector.
Ah, okay. So, you know, all those people who don't like Collector at the moment, eat your heart out. It's,
yeah.
You're up.
Well, I guess at least one thing we know he's not doing is he's not going to be doing the AP Kaisa build, right?
Yeah.
So we don't see Crown of the Shattered Queen coming out. We don't see, I believe Kadriel called it the KDA Kaisa, which I agree with, right? You stand in the back and throw out W's. True. It's not fun.
True, you have a lot of burst potential.
I guess FPX playing for a very early spike, meaning they're one to look for some aggressive plays now. We're going to see if they can capitalize and find those.
Well, Herald's up, so there's another objective that we could see it around. xiaolaohu, who is given the shy into his face. There is a Slicing Maelstrom on a level 11 Kennen, but xiaolaohu is healthy enough at this point. Feels like the shy's laning phase is coming to an end. As Dragon's coming up in a minute as well. On to Angel, that's trading. And Lwx, my God, I can't believe this game is part of this series. When we've been out of bed, we've been pretty woke, as the 12-year-olds these days would put it. But now I feel like I might be tucking into bed. Maybe not. Honest traveled over. Lwx pokes him down, and I'm going to go back under the quilt.
We have Weibo deciding not to contest topside for the Rift Herald. They should have a pretty good idea that it's going on for the fact that they don't spot Klid trying to protect his bottom side. Shy showing respect on top, playing under his turret. This should open up for Huanfeng to get this turret. Dragon going to be up for 20 seconds as well, so Weibo will have some vision already set up. And FPX going to look for a trade on the top side.
Well, with that Herald, that'll be a quick push, and again, another great movement here from FPX in the early game. Gold will even out, as has been the narrative for this series. As the Shy backs away, just sitting on the edge of the fountain with Rocket Belt now picked up. So Gold's traded across the board, turret for turret. Gold's even once again. Dragon's being done by the bottom lane of Weibo Gaming. So one apiece with Infernal Dragon for this third and final game.
Now Reset's going to have to come out for the side of FPX. We're going to see where the pivot on the map starts coming through, right? Because neither team necessarily wanting to play too heavily through side lanes. FPX do have Gwen, so you know Gwen will be able to keep up the consistent pressure against the Shy, like we've seen some of these 1v1s almost come out. Even for Lwx, going to feel pretty safe sitting here as long as he does have Hung and Klid continuously playing around him, which they always do, no matter the champion.
Sure. What Hung's been doing all series long, right? Feels pretty good. And, you know, coming into this, guys, while we are just snoozing a little bit, I want to point out that the core narratives and the most important part of why this series matters is the fact that for FPX, a win here leads them on to bigger and better things. Remember that 4-2 as a score leads past OMG, up towards Victory 5, and the BLGs, like the top 6. That's where the upper echelon is. That's where Weibo Gaming are. If FPX win this, they equalize Weibo Gaming to the same score that they have, and they have the head-to-head, which, when we come to playoffs, is pretty important. So
it's pretty crazy that we have 6 teams with either only 1 loss or no losses.
True.
Yeah, our top side of the league looking pretty stacked right now. On the bottom side, sadly,
also looking stacked.
Looking like they're the bottom side.
It's stacked in the opposite way. I think.
Hey, Munchables and Ox did talk about, what was it, Thunder Chad Gaming.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful graphic.
Hey, they've never been defeated at Worlds. What else was it?
Wait.
Never been defeated at MSI.
Hysterics, people might not know this, but guess what? Uzi wasn't playing.
Oh, where is Uzi? Do you know? You know, people always ask where's Uzi. They never ask how Uzi is. It's really selfish, guys. Come on. All right, SofM. Is action going to becomest to you? Is becomest a word? Becomest.
You know, we decide what words are here on this broadcast.
Because
guess what? No one can shut us up, but on goes
maybe
in.
they can. It's Hung who gets caught out. Dredge line against the wall. Flashes over. Huanfeng sends a rocket. SofM with the ulti. We get blood. Klid goes in for the Sonic Wave, but misses. And as the TP comes through, Weibo Gaming get their first kill of this game 3.
And for Weibo, right, this is the moment they've been waiting for. They've been waiting for turrets to start breaking down, for it to be more about these 5v5s. But xiaolaohu has a potential flank angle. He's on a ward, though. He's spotted.
I think Weibo Gaming come the better of it. As you can see, for TheShy, still has the ulti available as well. They're turning on it. They know Gwen's here. They want the engage, but nothing comes of it. So we get the 1 kill. Mid lane turret stays standing. And Lwx, they're just going to count down to Baron and to the Dragon. I still don't know if becomest is the word I was looking for, but I do know that a lot of Bryans have been offended today. And so that's not good. Huanfeng tagged out. There's a killer instinct. Huanfeng in trouble. The needlework against the turret. No one can save him, but TheShy on the wing with a beautiful ulti. Shockwave not enough as Dredgeline. He's short to the left. Angel following up as well. And now Hung is going to do his best off impersonation as Clid jumps on in, but TheShy still lives, burning down with a kick to the face. And Bruce Lee does it well. Clid against the wall. SofM with another reset, chasing up this Lee Sin. But Clid Lee Sin is clean enough to put on a debut.
And FPX not being able to find those avenues to be able to get on the key players of Weibo. Weibo coming out once again as on.
Okay.
Living life pretty dangerous. He is on Rakan, right? So does have the W available to be able to get out from harm's way. And interestingly enough, I'll hold on my point because we're going to go into the replay, right? We see Huanfeng catching waves in mid. Lwx does want to look for the aggression. We talked about Collector first item, has picked up an Essence Reaver as well, all inning on these early skirmishes. But TheShy coming in strong. Beautiful slicing Maelstrom to lock down multiple members. Sadly, Gori not able to take him down with that shockwave. Gives enough time for reinforcements to come in. And on, my man, that was so clean. Trying to make sure that TheShy doesn't go down. TheShy is still taken down with Clid having to use that Dragon's Rage.
I know.
But yeah,
we've been, you know, pretty critical of On in this series, and there's been a lot of, you know, light switch references, but there's moments like that you reference that On can have these crazy, horrible moments, but then can have moments like that where he thinks outside, you know, above 5 head, a 6 head if it existed. So for On, a beautiful little play lyric, and as Dragon spawns, I think we need to take stock. There's a lot down, a lot of summoners down, a lot of ultis that were just burned that are now coming off a cooldown, ready for the next little argument in the river.
And I want to look at summoners as well, right? Because Huanfeng and Angel, no flash is available. If Hung can find the clutch hook, they can be instantly deleted. Lwx does still have his flash, can look to reposition.
Look at where Clid is. That dude's
trying to
deep.
find the angle.
That dude literally went so deep into the jungle. I don't know if he knows his way back. Clid around Fog of War. This is a flank with a Sonic Wave kick over the wall. FPX jump on in. Clid on Lee Sin, man. That's what you expect.
Clid coming in strong. Beichuan was having a good performance on FPX, but it goes to show how cracked Clid is when he comes in, you know, is able to take over such a prestigious spot and put up even bigger numbers. Gonna pivot right towards the Dragon, getting wave pushed in mid. FPX just making the map theirs.
I mean, what more do I say? Ulti comes through, Dragon secured. Are we ready for the replay, guys? Because Clid's Lee Sin, much like Tarzan's, needs to be respected, needs to be looked at with definitely always a glass half full, because even though for FPX, players were going a bit even-handedly, that brings them back in. That gives them a second Dragon lyric in a game that was going kind of slow.
And we're going to see how he does it. A bit of a ninja here.
Yeah.
Gets a control ward in to find his way around. Looks for the angle. See how he finds it. Hysterics. What does he do? Jumps over the wall.
Not spotted at all.
And Huanfeng perfectly there.
Oh.
Gets over, finds the kick onto the Viktor. And nice follow-up by Lwx, instantly popping that ultimate to be able to follow in and for the deletion to be able to come out. Which, again, talking about Lwx, not a build I have seen before, honestly, going Collector into Essence Reaver, picking up another straight to Dirk. Again, the one thing we know is this does give a lot of early burst, especially, you know, throwing out those consistent Qs. You have a ton of lethality. You have the Spellblade proc,
Guys, you got
coming
that?
on afterwards as well. I did. It was, ooh.
You press Q.
That was a journey.
You press Q and the health bars dissipate. So, I mean, I like
Press
it.
Q throughout the auto attack. Bam. You know, I guess we're going to find out if he does make his way towards a Mythic at some point.
That's true. No Mythic as of yet. Third item, not even tier 2 boots picked up. So, I like this little adaptation from Lwx. And I like that for FPX, the proactivity continues to skyrocket. Lyric, we have a Baron. We have a Dragon coming up in 3 minutes 20. FPX are encroaching onto the WBG's jungle. And it's getting dark. It's getting real dark here for Weibo Gaming. So, FPX is starting to really move with this small gold lead.
And FPX have done a great job at keeping up their vision line pretty much the whole game, right? We hit on it early on in the game where they had just tons of wards flooding up towards that top side, enabling xiaolaohu to look for those aggressive trades and not just get aimlessly whittled down by TheShy. Now doing it once again to try to make sure that Weibo can't find a way onto Baron. For FPX, you're going to feel happy just leaving xiaolaohu in the side lane, trying to find those aggressive trades. And again, starting to find those rotations from there with no obvious, like, easy neutral objectives up, right? Baron, quite hard to take, a big commitment. I expect for FPX just to look to enable their Gwen. Weibo will get a free turret out of this, but it shouldn't mean too much.
And onto the Baron point, really impressed that FPX's series have not been flipping Barons like they're flipping burgers at McDonald's. I think at this point, as TheShy goes on in, but the needlework used in response, gonna have to hold on that point, because SofM really wants this. xiaolaohu in a 1v2 without the ulti. TheShy has his own. Gwen won't be immune for now. Jumps on, back on, but a skip and a jump ain't gonna be enough. SofM with a cleaning of house, and that's a big pick. FPX are on Baron's side, but they've just lost their Gwen.
For FPX, not going to be able to do anything from this. For Weibo, you can start heading up towards that mid lane. Allow TheShy to push in this bottom side. Relieve some pressure, collect some vision back on you. And I also want to say, right, you said not flipping Barons like burgers. Sometimes flips are impressive, right?
Sure.
Someone flips a pizza, it looks pretty awesome. Once I went to this concert, the band was called Arsonist Get All the Girls. Their keyboardist flipped his keyboard like 15 times in the air. It was sick. Flips can be cool.
Can be.
Make flips great again.
Yeah, but you as Americans saying that is walking a fine edge. Walking a real fine edge. It's too soon. It's too soon.
Take us forward.
We're going to move along. Normally I'm the one that almost, gets fired. So that's cool. That's a nice little change of pace. Hey,
it's kind of you are impacting me.
Bad influence. I've gotten better.
I like it.
I've gotten better. I haven't said mother-loving winged machine because we haven't had Kale. I've been on a straight and narrow path, so I feel like I'm improving it, just making everyone else around me worse. Hey, you're talking about flipping pizzas. I have seen, though, people flipping pizzas and the dough gets screwed up in the air, comes back down and lands on the face, so I will say FPX...
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, that's what FPX have been doing with their Barons. They've literally been, as Cajun would say, real burger flipping it. So I want to see how this goes, because Dragon's coming up, Lwx, and I'm just going to say, Shockwave. That's what I'm looking at. What are you looking at for Weibo Gaming?
I'm not looking at Weibo Gaming. I'm looking at we now have Duskblade onto LWX.
Okay,
so
look at that then.
Yeah, again, fully committed to some of this burst.
Yep.
Different burst than how he built AP. Again, just been hitting off those Ws from long range and trying to enable his passive damage as well.
Meanwhile,
but guess what? xiaolaohu finding
and FPX is split. FPX is split. Weibo Gaming know it. xiaolaohu may get the top lane turret, but Weibo Gaming pulled the trigger. An instant double kill with the Chaos Storm down. That's 3 versus 5. Huanfeng pushing mid. But look at xiaolaohu. He's like, okay, I'll take your bluff.
Yeah, I mean, he should be able to get an inhibitor off this, right? We see Angel starting to move over now, but no Chaos Storm on Angel. xiaolaohu has everything. Okay, the other members are coming in. It's doomed, xiaolaohu.
Well, he's doing it. Onto TheShy. Another blast code there. Well, let's see. Because he's got the ulti available in Lwx. I don't know. I don't trust Gwen. Okay, dead. As soon as that health bar goes down and the red thing comes up, I'm convinced.
Yeah, when the health bar goes down, that is when you're dead. As FPX, though, do get a dragon off this. Weibo, though, going to have an opportunity to look for the Baron. They have about 35 seconds until Gwen is up, who does have teleport.
True.
Weibo should be able to burn this one pretty fast, though, with their Jinx.
But Gori's coming through. It's only at 8k. It's only at 8,000.
TheShy has TP, though.
Clid's coming over. He's going to be spotted out by a ward with the Sonic Wave in. They get vision. Another ward over the pit. They're going to flip it. Weibo Gaming going to flip it against Clid. It's a Lee Sin who Sonic Waves. Please don't do this. 1700. We're not going back to McDonald's. Stop it. He's in. He gets it. Stop flipping burgers! Clint even follows through the full way. LWX gets the ulti. Not only do they steal the Baron, but into the backline, LWX burnt to a crisp. And again, Clint trying to survive his way out of this one. Baron goes down and somehow FPX lost 4 members. How? How did they just lose everyone? xiaolaohu's going to pick up one though. Gwen again. It's Gwen. Onto the second. It's a double kill. Needlework. I can't see if it's up and available. But
it's not.
But Weibo Gaming lost 3. What?
Yeah, that was grabbing FPX. FPX end up, I think, picking up more gold from what we just saw from that play, but 3 for 4, you still have Baron on Gwen. The great part about that is the fact that Gwen is the one dismantling the enemy team. Actually, did they not get Baron on Gwen? Looks like they don't, as Clid's going to be able to seal that away right now. We're going to see how it happens. Like you said, the burger flip's coming out. They throw out the shockwave. Clid also trying to find angles in to find it. They don't get it on Gwen, so I did see wrong. And this is where Epics are able to take advantage of the fact that Weibo committed so much to try and steal the Baron away. Luckily, though, Viktor able to also burst out Kaisa. We hit on it earlier, guys. Kaisa not really too happy playing into Viktor. Drop the Gravity Storm, drop the Gravity Field, drop the Chaos Storm, and he could do so much. And then, I mean, xiaolaohu's full HP. The members of Weibo are all low.
So,
it happens.
I mean, flipping Barons against the Lee Sin. Lee Sin's Q is an execute. Why do we do this? I know we got co-streamers on.
Listen,
help.
Listen, we are an impartial force for good and for justice. Yeah. We don't comment. We just enjoy the show, and that's what it was. Is we're seeing a replay here of how Weibo did pick up this mid lane turret. Yep. No dragon for 2.5 minutes. No outer turrets are still up on either side either. So for Weibo and FPX right now, it's gonna be all about the vision game. For Weibo trying to aggressively push into this bottom side, get some deep wards down, and for FPX trying to make sure that doesn't happen, which is why they do have xiaolaohu in bot right now, since he is their strong point.
Well, let's take stock of where the game's at. After we come back, after Clid steals the Baron power play, I don't know if it was negative, chat. You're going to have to find out for me, but we're on to 4 item territory. I see LWX now with a more in the making. Hex Drinker starts us off. A 3-item Jinx on the other side. Huanfeng is getting that GA for his 4th. I think a Rabadon's Death Cap for Angel is his 4th too. 7-2 Viktor, by the way. Lyric, I feel like that 3rd Dragon's going to be big for FPX. That little sneak of a 3rd Dragon when they only had 2 members up. Now, Weibo Gaming have to fight in a minute 30. And you talked about picking some of the angles for the Shy, the flank, and maybe on getting the engage. There's a lot of things Weibo Gaming have to get right in this upcoming fight in a minute 20.
There are some good things, right? You have your flash up still on Huanfeng. He's at 3 items. He'll be able to put up big damage. No flash up on the opposite AD carry. So LWX going to be he'll have harder choices to make considering he doesn't have that up if he does ult in on a bad angle or a bad window. And for Weibo as well, Angel's huge, right? 7, 2, and 0 on this Viktor. 3.5 items sitting on the needlessly large rod now, so trying to make his way towards that death cap. The only real threat I think you have on the opposite side to worry about is, potentially xiaolaohu coming out. And like you hit on, FPX are the ones who have to find the cheeky angles in there. They have a lot of these dive threats, like the Gwen, like the Kaisa coming through. But I don't know, Hysterics. Both comps are going to jump into each other.
Okay.
We need to stop trying to analyze this. We need to just wait and see.
But you got a big brain. I need some direction because I don't have a clue what's going to happen.
It has been many years since I've coached, my man, as FPX currently going to try and coach us on how to get Infernal Soul and dominate the game.
Well, 13 seconds, 10. Count it down, guys, because you can see Weibo Gaming on the rim of the river. SofM smites this series haven't been too red hot. I'm going to be real. But as FPX sit in the bottom side, this will be Infernal Soul and a massive turning point. A win against Weibo Gaming puts them up to the top 6 to bring back themselves from Chinese New Year. As SofM's on the wing, Clid is going to spot him out momentarily. A level difference, but won't matter. Sonic Wave connects to tag him to see him. FPX looks like thinking about starting off the Dragon here, but Weibo getting confident walking forward.
Yeah, Weibo utilizing the range coming out from the Jinx. You see TheShy constantly trying to throw out the Qs on as well. So they're slowly pushing them back, trying to buy an angle for SofM.
And he's here. Look at the slicing maelstrom. Everybody getting electrocuted. You know what? You pile up in front of Weibo Gaming, and it's as easy as that. In the backline, they try and bring it back as LWX is all for it. But Weibo Gaming, blink, and you'll miss it.
Great by TheShy to find that opportunity. Clid might go down as well. Looks like won't be able to find it, but TheShy found the opportunity. I'm surprised so many members of FPX are able to survive the initial burst. And we still have 3 members up. I'm like, holy cow, maybe FPX can turn this. Weren't able to do it. Weibo now going to turn this into a bottom lane turret. I'm surprised for Weibo not picking up the Dragon.
Is it just going to be done? I don't know. There's Nautilus coming up in 5 seconds, 15 seconds for Gori as well.
There's no way. No way.
Okay, thank you, Lyric. There you go. That's why I've got you here. You got to keep me straight. We can see going down a direct path. inhibitor that goes down. So, Weibo Gaming break it open. The Dragon's still there. Now, does this mean FPX can contest again? Is it round 2 time? Or not?
Looks like for FPX, they're going to just prioritize vision control on top side. Maybe realizing the fact that Weibo's members have already respawned. Shy having TP up as well, TP towards mid, so could have been there faster. And them going for inhibitor first, and the fact that they were able to get it successfully, means that they're going to have a lot more pressure on the Baron, right? You have super minions on the opposite side of the map, pulling someone there.
Oh.
Luckily, Gori does have TP, but this gives you as a small window as Weibo to try to find some kind of fight or pick before Gori can join in. I think the key thing for Weibo Gaming is taking this slow and utilizing the fact that you broke open that inhibitor down in bot.
True. Look at the waves crashing in, eventually building up, I should say. xiaolaohu is the one to move down, but the Gwen now pivoting back towards mid. Weibo Gaming clearing out the vision. I'm not sure I feel comfortable going to a replay, but let's look anyway.
Yeah, we're going to see how this all started again. Weibo were trying to zone them out. TheShy, though, just flashes over, finds a multi-man ultimate, locking down 4 members. FPX survived the initial burst, and xiaolaohu's trying to do work on the back half of the fight, but Angel doing so much consistent damage to him as well as... Doesn't matter. We're out of the replay.
FPX on Baron. This will be the second Baron as Clid stole the first one, and now he's going to comfortably secure the first. The second, excuse me, by xiaolaohu. Clid stuck in the pit as the Mega Death Rocket over the wall helps out, but Clid, he's alive. He'll heal up on the Krugs and FPX. All 5 members are getting out here, Lwx. Wave hasn't even crashed through the base yet, and Weibo Gaming lose this one.
Yeah, FPX, Hysterics, the FPX Barons. There are positive moments.
Yeah.
Maybe not many of them, but this is one of them. Weibo, though, will be able to try to capitalize by taking one of these turrets. And it feels like we're just going to fall into a similar pattern, right? It's going to be a lot about probably the next Drake fight coming up. For Weibo, there's still some presented opportunities of finding picks, but now that FPX has Baron, they should be able to push out these waves quite easily, even the one in bot side with super minions. So it should be FPX able to pick up some vision control on their side and not end up getting caught out by the members of Weibo.
Oh, we're going to have to wait a little bit because with that Baron buff available, the game will continue to go on. 26 kills in 36 minutes, and yeah, it's been a slower one. Now, a lot of people might be tuning in. I don't know if LCK's on break. Honestly, I don't really care, but we come into this game and we're like, yeah, this series has been defining how bloody tonight is going to be. FPX, they've got the Baron, number 2. We've also got a Rabadon's death cap on xiaolaohu. I think TheShy going to be heading in that direction as well. He's had a pretty big ultimate in the previous fight. The one we just saw wasn't amazing, but Lwx, where do we go from here, dude? Like, you've told me these comps, it's simple. Who gets buttons off? Who runs face into face first? Kind of wins it out.
Yeah, when you ask me what I think is going to happen, right? Again, I feel like for the side of FPX, it's about utilizing this Baron to try and keep control of vision to make sure that you can try and guarantee that Infernal Soul for yourself. They're smartly having xiaolaohu answer those waves in bot side. Again, they have Baron, so they can clear those out quite easily. For Weibo, I think you're the ones who have to wait this out a little bit for that Baron to go down. Unless a member of FPX does look to overstep, right?
Yeah, very good point. It feels like at this point, you know, we're just going to be talking about the Dragon that comes up in a minute 45. Remember, Soul Point still there for FPX. Lwx, look at the gold. We're dead even again. We're literally dead even again. This series has lived at dead even for the majority of its time. And for both these teams, just showing that, you know, that they're top 8. They're easy top 8 at this point, and they look like playoff teams. A couple of errors here and there, but we're seeing these individual plays that are making or breaking these team fights.
I do want to point out some things before we see this team fight, though, because GA about to come up on Huanfeng. His flash also looks like it did just come up as well. GA now on Clid. Like, all the tools are available for both sides, right? So you're going to have the ability to reposition. You're going to have the ability to buy time. I do think it slightly favors Weibo's side as we hit on how the later the game goes. I mean, Weibo are just stacked with AoE damage right now, but gonna instead pivot to mid, try to force FPX to have to make these hard options, right? Catching mid waves, potentially losing turrets, or just giving up the control you have for Dragon right now.
Well, they're sitting right towards mid. For FPX, this is going to be moving away from the Dragon and trying to just defend for now. SofM wants LWX. The pivot on the side, caught out here. The Weibo Gaming support caught out as FPX now have an opportunity to collapse. Sonic Wave doesn't connect from Clid. TheShy on the way out with the tunnel, but xiaolaohu is once again battering down these side lane turrets.
I love how xiaolaohu commits to his side laning, right? We saw it up in top side when he got the top lane inhibitor turret. Now, once again, in bot side, getting this inner turret. For FPX, it's a very easy pivot towards this dragon. This will be soul for them, right? So Weibo need to look for a contest.
True.
You do have flash on SofM, so maybe a potential ult into the pit, try and steal, flash out, as we see how On does get caught out here. Last plant's over the wall, and I mean, we saw what happened, right? Shockwave gets bursted down, as there it is! FPX have Infernal Soul.
It's a big deal. Infernal Soul starts the timer of Elder, and more importantly, third Baron of the game is going to be coming up shortly as well, so we're going in for the long haul, Lyric, and we're getting to the point where full items are going to be stacked up. Another Rabadons has just appeared on my screen in Gori. Another Void Staff as well for the TheShy that was recently purchased. So we wait and we wait, and we're just going to see one big team fight decide it all. Everyone running down mid. I love that xiaolaohu still putting pressure on the sideways. Teleport the backside.
Oh, they would have
Weibo
gone
Gaming
in.
are forcing onto LWX in the backline. There's Kaisa caught on out, and so is Clid. He goes into GA form, but the TheShy again kept them down. Someone put fork in the toaster, but unfortunately it was TheShy. Why did TheShy do that? As Weibo Gaming was split up, they get the resets. LWX doing the same thing. Gori has to back away. He has TP, but for Weibo Gaming, now they're the ones winning it out. This game's chaos, and I think it's going to end in a chaotic way.
I mean, for Weibo, this is huge, right? This is at least 2 inhibitors. Might even be able to push for the end here. Gori doesn't have Shockwave, does have the Infernal Soul damage to rely on, but for Weibo, I mean, Huanfeng can keep running forward. SofM as well going to do a nice job zoning.
Getting excited,
and
Gori.
Gori might just go down.
Yeah, he has to be careful. Huanfeng has the range to deal with him now for the minion wave. It's up to Gori to defend this one. As Weibo Gaming, this has been so back and forth. Gori about to get dove by SofM. The chain, the root, the death rocket, and the death itself. Weibo Gaming bring it down in one team fight, 2-1 over the FunPlus Phoenix.
I'm a little bit surprised. We were hitting on how the later the game goes, right? I think it's very clear that Weibo's composition does have more DPS, more damage they can put off in a team fight, especially with the Jinx that they have online. I thought that maybe the Infernal Soul would be enough to bridge the gap and make that a more competitive fight at the end than it was.